This time on Fox Can Fix It, we're doing electrical things. Back to work on the 85 Ford Ranger, and what I have here is the choke relay. Now, why does the choke need a relay? Well, who really knows? It's a 5-pin connector. Most relays are 4-pin, so I looked it up. The 5th pin is for some sort of computery VCC or VVC solenoid, variable vacuum canister something. I don't know. The reason that I know that this relay is going bad is I put a test light on the wire going from the relay over to the electrical choke, and that should have 12 volts with the ignition on. So that would be, let's see here, coming off the relay, if you got this here, you have a little lever here, here's your 4 pins, and then here's your, okay, so this would be ignition, and this would be ground. This would be bat. Horrible handwriting, I know, sorry. This is battery positive, and this is to choke. You turn the key on, that powers this up, and it closes this gate. It just swings this down, which actually means it would go the other way, but who knows. So you power this up, it closes this circuit. It would probably actually pull it this way because it's a magnet, but you get the idea. So then battery voltage can flow here over to your choke. Now, I put a test light between this wire and my actual choke, and it was blinking, and it shouldn't be blinking. With this power, that's just straight battery, so that should be on solid. So I went back to the relay, and I went over to ignition, and I had solid ignition. So it's not a ground issue. So it has to be this stinking relay. Here's what I found. This is not your average relay. I can break these tabs because I'm not reusing it. Most relays just have that inside. It's literally a little magnetic coil and a metal lever. This is, oh, it's the 1980s. They turned it into a computer. And after sitting for a while, you can see the corrosion right here. So it was probably trying to power up and kept shutting itself off because it's got a circuit breaker built into it from what I could tell. So it's garbage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace it with standard relay, and I will go ahead and use a relay socket instead of just wiring up my own stuff. Let's take this apart and check it out. Same drawing I just made, these relays already have on it, so you know what terminal to put where. So 85 and 86, that's gonna be ignition and ground. 87 is gonna be your power over to that. And 30 is gonna be battery in. So all the numbers on the side correspond to the terminals. If you get the matching socket, just like that, that will go together perfectly. So the next thing I have to do is figure out what wires go where to mate up with these wires. Let's see, let's number these where I can read these on the outside. '87. All right, so now we know what goes where. Even though I just drew over that picture, it'll be perfectly fine. Plug this back in like this. And I know that my number 85 and 86, so power and ground, doesn't really matter which side. You can power it up either way, it won't matter. This can be power, that can be ground, or this can be ground, and that can be power. It's okay. So that is, oh, white and black. So obviously we're gonna make black ground because usually it is, white is hot. And the only thing I need to decide is which one I want to be battery and which one to choke. I'm gonna go yellow battery and I'm gonna go blue choke wire. So let's go over to the truck and figure out the wiring there. Okay, this is the passenger side fender well. Here's your battery. Here's your bank of little solenoids and relays and things. This is where the electric relay went. Thing bolted right here, plugged in here. So all I need to do is figure out, of the 4 terminals I need, which ones are they? So black is going to be ground. I already know that. So this wire's ground, no problem. I need to know in and out and choke. Choke wire over here at the truck is a tan wire with a white stripe, I believe. Yep, tan with a white stripe, which is this one right here. So tan with white stripe I've got. So this is 2 choke, this is ground. I need to know ignition, and I need to know battery. So what I've got is my meter, and I will go ahead and take my negative terminal, ground it on my battery, set this to DC voltage, and I will probe these 2 terminals here. We'll see. This one is the front one, nothing. This one is 12. So here's battery voltage. So that's battery. This is going to be nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, so battery voltage is yellow. Conveniently, it's going to be yellow, yellow there. And now I need to find out ignition voltage. So I'll go turn the key on. And the key is on. So I know that's battery. I know this is ground. I know this is choke. So it's either here or here. One of these 2 is going to be my ignition. That is nothing. That's 12. Okay, so ignition. Ignition is red. Okay, so red hot and yellow hot. Black ground, and then tan with white is 2 choke. This is gonna be pretty simple. Okay, I'll go grab everything, turn this key on. Since nothing is currently using this spot right here, that's where I'm gonna mount this relay. This way, it's attached solidly as I'm trying to hook all these wires up, and it's not flopping around. It doesn't have to stay here permanently, but for now, that's what it's gonna do. Alrighty, let's get this meter out of the way because we know what we're doing here. Now, what we're gonna need for this job is solder, soldering iron, good set of wire crimpers and cutters, and some heat shrink. And this should go as smoothly as possible. We're gonna start with ground to ground. Okay, one thing I almost forgot before we go any farther is go ahead and unhook your battery from this. It looks like this is about a 16 gauge wire. Here we go for the ground. This ground is bigger, but that'll be okay, it's short. And you're just gonna take that, work this back and forth, pull it off, and you got good copper. Heat shrink sleeve goes on, slide all the way down away from where you're gonna be soldering. Then you've got your 2 wires that you're going to twist together. They are both twisted together right here. It's a little bit difficult to see, but that's okay. This is all gonna work out. Probably shouldn't use open flame for this, but this is how I do it. This is going to be just fine. Okay, doesn't take much. A joint is now soldered. Now what you do is slide your heat shrink down, and you gotta be kind of fast on it so you don't get the heat shrink melted to there. And then turn your heat back on. Melt your heat shrink. Melt it from both sides. Just be careful with your hoses. You can see that heat shrink pull right up on that wire. And there you go. You got your weatherproof seal there. We're gonna do that 3 or 4 more times. So let's do this. This last one that went to the VVC or VCC solenoid. I'm just gonna leave that on there. It's not gonna hurt anything. I'm just gonna tuck it down here in case I ever need that connector for anything. We'll get some electrical tape. Wrap all this up nice and neat. Everything is nice and neat and together. And then this goes back on. Just like that. Choke connector, done. I can take this off and I can hook the actual choke wire back up. That wraps up another tiny little maintenance project on this truck. Hopefully this helps you with any wiring. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the comments in the video and I'll take care of them as best I can. See you next time.